Hello, my loves. Today we are going to work on lesson 11.9, volume of rectangular prisms. Our standard for today, I can relate volume to the operations of multiplication and addition to solve real-world and mathematical problems involving volume. So here we have a figure. And in order to find the volume, we need to find the length, the width, and what do you think? It's the height. Yes, we need to find the length, the width, and the height in order to find the volume. Here's our goal for today, our objective. I can use my strategies to find the volume of a prism. Your essential question: what strategies can you use to find the volume of a rectangular prism? Here are our lead measures. We're going to identify 3 strategies. We're going to find the volume of rectangular prisms, and you're going to practice using the Google form that I made for you. And then, of course, those iReady teacher-assigned lessons. Make sure you get those lessons done before Sunday night. And your 2 math grades depend on those teacher-assigned lessons, and your 3rd math grade is about those iReady minutes. And also don't forget, in order to be present for 100% of the week, you would have to do 50 minutes of iReady on math and 50 minutes of iReady on reading. All right, so one strategy to find the volume of rectangular prisms is simply to count the unit cubes. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 unit cubes on the right-hand side of this figure. Now you can clearly see that the left-hand side of the figure is identical, right? It's congruent. So since there are 6 there, we're going to have 6 on the other side as well. So altogether, the volume is 12 cubic units. And it's called cubic because they're made of cubes. We're counting how much space those cubes take up. Now on the right-hand side, you can count at the top 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Did you count 16? Yeah, there are 16 cubes that make up this top row. And if this row has 16, the next one will have 16. And all of the other congruent rows will have 16. So simply count them or add them all up. 16 plus 16 is 32, and 32 plus 32 is 64. So 64 cubic units is in this figure. Here's another strategy. We're going to use the formula, length times width times height. A formula is kind of like the algorithm that we're used to using, or if you even think of it like a recipe, it's something that you use all the time. So whenever you have a rectangular prism, you can use this simple formula, length times width times height. So over here on the left-hand side, we have a green figure, and you can see that its length is 1 millimeter, its width is 8 millimeters, and its height is 3 millimeters. So we would multiply 1 times 8 times 3. And the volume is 24 cubic millimeters because 1 times 8 is 8, and 8 times 3 is 24. Now your answer is not 24, and your answer is not 24 millimeters. Your answer has to have the word cubic in it or something that mentions that it's a cubic unit. That way we know for sure you're talking about volume. You're talking about the amount of space it takes up. This next figure, look at the length. We have a length of 2 centimeters. The width is 3 and the height is 3. So 2 centimeters times 3 centimeters times 3 centimeters. Do you see how many times I have centimeters? 1, 2, 3. Think about that. 3 centimeters. So that's why we can put 18 centimeters cubed, because we multiplied 3 dimensions. Do you see that? Centimeter, centimeter, centimeter? That's the number 3 centimeters. So we put 18 centimeters cubed. But you could also put 18 cubic centimeters or 18 centimeters cubed. All of those work as long as you're telling us that they are cubic units. Here's strategy 3. Wow, we're going fast. Use the formula base times height. Now this formula is basically the same as the one before, except it's telling you to go in a very specific order. So the first thing they want you to do, step 1, is find the area of the base. And how we find the area is we multiply length times width. And you've been doing that since 3rd grade. We know that length times width equals the area. And remember, area is only 2 dimensions. It's only length and width. That's just 2 of them. So because of that, the base is measured in square units. Here's our base. We have a length of 14 and we have a width of 14. So altogether, our base is 16 square units because we're not talking about a volume yet. We're talking about just kind of like the outline of that figure. Have you ever taken maybe a cup or a shape and you take your pencil and you trace around it to draw like a perfect circle or a perfect square? That's what the area is. It's just a 2-dimensional shape that's drawn on a piece of paper. But now step 2 is to find the volume of the prism. We found the base, and now we just need to multiply the base times the height. So volume equals base times height. Here's my base, and if you remember that base was 16 square units, and we're going to multiply it by the height. So it's 16 times 4 because the height is 4 units tall. And there you go. Our volume is 64 units cubed. Making sure it's units cubed. Okay. So again, here are your 3 strategies. You can count the cubes. You could use the formula length times width times height, or use the formula base times height. But just remember that what the base really is simply length times width. Okay, here we are over at IXL, and we're going to do a few practice problems. And let's start. Oh, no, I don't want you. I have to go back. Back. Okay, sorry about that. Clicked the wrong one. There we go. We wanted this one. Oh, it just popped away. Where'd it go? Here it is. The volume of rectangular prisms made of unit cubes. Because we're talking about prisms today. Are you gonna let me click? Come on, my friend. Oh, what are you doing? Where are we going? Okay. No, why won't you let me go? I was trying to trick it. Oh, it worked. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Sorry about that. Uh-oh, take a look. Our trial ends in 7 days. Get your practice in. I might be able to call them and see if we can get a new trial. We'll see what happens, but in the meantime, practice. Okay, so what is the volume of this object? Now going back to the first strategy, you simply count the unit cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 unit cubes. All right, now here again, count the unit cubes. 2, 4, 6, 8. There are 8 unit cubes. How about this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very simple. But again, these are simple figures. And some of these you don't even need to count. You can clearly see what their numbers are, yes? Okay. Let's go back to another one. It's a little bit more challenging. Let's find one where we would need to use the second or the third strategy, where we're multiplying length times width times height. Okay, we want the volume of, we don't want decimals, well, we might want decimals. Okay, there we go, that's the one we want. All right, so we have the volume. We've got to find the volume of this cube, and I can see that length times width times height is my formula, and it's 4 times 4 times 4. And I know that 4 times 4 is 16. So now it's 16 times 4. And 6 times 4 is 24. Regroup. 4, 5, 6. So it is 64. Let me clear. All right, what is the volume? Again, it's going to be length times width times height. And using that commutative property, it doesn't matter which one you consider to be the length or the width, because you could stand this up and it would be 7 inches tall, or you can lay it down and it's 7 inches long, or you can turn it and face it to you. And I mean, all these different ways you can move it, but it's still going to be 7 times 1 times 1. And that's a very simple one, isn't it? So with formulas, basically all you're doing is plugging in the data. And 3 times 3 times 3, well, we know that 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 times 3 is what? Yep, it is. All right, so here you have a choice. You could multiply 6 times 7 and then times 5, or 7 times 5 and then times 6. Now what I want to do is I want to do 6 times 5. And the reason I want to do that is because 6 times 5 is 30. And it's so easy to multiply these two together, because I know 7 times 3 is 21. And this is 3 tens, so the answer is 21 tens. So please use that commutative property to make your life easier. Well done, they tell me. Okay, 5 times 5 is what? 25. And what's 25 times 5? Well, I know that 25 times 4 is 100 because I think of money. 4 quarters. And then 1 more quarter is 125. It's $1.25. So these are nice little tips and tricks that I use to help things go faster for me. Okay, let's go back. And let's do a story problem together before I send you on to practice on your own. Oh, I just saw it. Okay, word problems. Okay.
The Mango Mania Drinks Company has a new design for their juice boxes. Each box will have a square base with an area of 22 square centimeters. The height will be 12 centimeters. What is the volume of one of these new juice boxes?
Okay, this is great. Each box will have a square base. Let me draw my square base. And the area is 22 centimeters squared. 22 square centimeters. And that is the length times the width. Now they're telling me that the height will be 12 centimeters. So if I draw my juice box, I know that the base is 22, and I know that the height is 12. So using that formula of base times height, we just multiply 22 times 12. And 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times 2 is 4. I'm going to put my 0 for the tens place, and then 2 and 2. So all together, I hope you can see it down here at the bottom. I'm just barely fixing it, getting it in there. There we go. 246. I hope I did my math right. Let's find out. 246. Of course, it's not. I said 246. Look, I'm glad I checked that. 264. I do that a lot. 264 cubic centimeters. Let's see if I got it right. Awesome, I got it right. All right, let's do another one. Oh, you guys know about pyrite. I showed you some samples of it.
Pyrite is also called fool's gold because it is often mistaken for gold. Craig finds a pyrite crystal that is shaped like a cube and measures 4 millimeters on each side. What is the volume of the pyrite crystal?
All right, let me go back and look for my information. Craig finds pyrite. It's shaped like a cube, so I need to think about the shape of a cube. And it measures 4 millimeters on each side. So this side is 4 millimeters, and this side is 4 millimeters. This side's 4 millimeters. Every single side. This side's 4 millimeters. This one's 4. They're all 4 millimeters. All of them. So we need to find out what the volume is. And how do we find the volume? We do length times width times height. So it's 4 times 4 times 4. And we know 4 times 4 is 16. And we know that 16 times 4 is 64. I'm hoping it's 64 because I remember in the PowerPoint we did 16 and 16 are 32, 32 and 32 are 64. See, these patterns help me. And we just did this problem, didn't we? 16 times 4. So if you were doing this on a piece of paper, you would already have that math in front of you, and you would not have to do it again. So make sure you're working on a piece of paper. Good work. All right, Jake found a wounded bird, in his backyard. And he makes a house for it out of a cardboard box that is 14 inches long, 5 inches wide, and 7 inches tall. What's the volume? Well, length, width, height. Let's multiply. 14 times 5 times 7. So you can put these in any order that you want. You can do 14 times 5 and then multiply by 7. Or you can do 7 times 5 to get 35 and multiply that by 14. However you want to multiply is perfectly fine. I'm going to do 14 times 5 because 5 times 4 is 20. Regroup. It's going to be 70, and that's easy because 70 times 7, that's a 0. What's 7 times 7? Is it 49? I heard someone say that. I'm trusting you. I hope you got it right. I hope it's right. Are you sure it's 49? Are you sure? Okay. Oh, and I typed in 42. You're sure? Last chance. What? Oh my goodness, look what I did. Look what I did. What did we do wrong? What did we do wrong? Did you find my mistake? The answer is 490. Let's see what I did wrong. Okay. 14 times 5 times 7 is 490 cubic inches. That's what they're telling me. I don't see my mistake. Do you see it? Let me try my math again. I'm not going to erase this. because then I can find my mistake. Let's start with 14 times 5 again. 5 times 4 is 20, and 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 70. And then it's going to be 70 times 7. I know 7 times 7 is 0, and it's 490. This is what I got. So where did I make that mistake? Oh, look where I made my mistake. Look at me. We did the math right. You gave me the right answer. You told me 49. You're totally right. But look what I forgot to do. I didn't match my answer. But that's okay, because now I learned from my mistake, and now I know to take my time and double check over and over again. And I don't mind making mistakes because now I've learned something. Got it. Yes, I do have it. I know to not make that mistake again. Okay, let's try the last one. In woodworking class, Preston's making a wooden chest, and he decides to shape it like a rectangular prism because that is the easiest shape to make out of wood. The base of Preston's chest is an area of 320 square inches, and the chest is 9 inches tall. So what's the volume? Well, we simply do base times height, don't we? We do 320 times 9. 9 times 0 is 0. 9 times 2, we've got 18. I'm going to regroup. And 9 times 3, what's the answer? 27. Yes, plus 1 is 28. So my answer is 2,880. Let's make sure I type it in right. 2,880. Now I'm going to double check. 2880. Okay, looks good. Let's see if I made that same mistake again. Oh, thank you for helping me. I appreciate that. Okay, so now where you're going to go, let me get my mouse, there we go. Now you're gonna go to this Google practice form, and I made this just for you because I love you and miss you so very much. You know what I did? I took all the pictures from the Go Math textbook. I copied them, I pasted them, and I made problems for you. You don't need to fill out your textbook. You don't need to sharpen your pencils or anything like that. Well, actually, you do, don't you? You do need to do the math on paper. Please don't use a calculator. Well, you can use it to check your work, but do the work. So here, all of these problems are from the Go Math textbook. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to answer the question on a piece of paper, and then look what it says. Use the drop-down menu to check your answer. So let's do this first one together. The base of a rectangular prism is a rectangle. You know that area is measured in square units, and that the area of a rectangle can be found by multiplying the length and the width. Find the area. Then use the drop-down menu to check your answer. So remember, area is just this little picture of the two dimensions, length and width. And we simply multiply. Let's look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to multiply 4 times 1, 2, 3. 4 times 3 is, yes, very good. So now I'm going to click on my drop-down menu and check my answer. It's not 12. I heard a lot of you say 12. It's actually 12 what? Yes, square units. Area is in a square unit because we're only finding length times width. Now look at this one. This base has a length of 2 centimeters. Here's my length. And a width of 3 centimeters. Here it is. Multiply to find the area of the base. Then use the drop-down menu to check your answer. Well, you guys have that answer already, don't you? No, it's not 6. It's not 6. What is it? Square units. Actually, look, it's 6 square centimeters. I made a mistake. I'm going to go fix that. So when you have your chance to practice, this is going to say 6 square centimeters or 6 centimeters squared. Ooh, I'm glad we're doing this together. Next one, now you're going to find the volume. Volume is not in square units, it's in cubic units. So in order to find the volume, we have to multiply the base times the height. Here's the base. The base is 6, and what's the height? 1, 2, 3, 4. So what is 6 times 4? 24. It's 24 cubic units. And you can do this as many times as you want. And it's not going to grade it for you because all of the answers, I'm giving you the answers. I want you to do the math first and then check your answers, okay? And let's see. Oh, look, there's some more practice, more practice. Here, did I give you the challenging ones here? Nope, the challenging ones are for tomorrow. So here you're just going to practice multiplying the length times the width times the height, and then checking your answers. All right, have fun. I love you. See you next time. Bye. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye. Okay, bye.